Probably my favourite effect to perform as a magician is the 4 ace location, where a magician finds any 4 of a kind from a completely shuffled deck. Today I want to teach you one of the most simple, direct, and yet most visually stunning methods that I know. So let's get straight into it. You might have seen the quick routine that I'm going to be teaching you today in the B-roll. It looks something like this. With a series of cuts and shuffles, I can mix the deck so there's no way I can know where any card is. But let's say I want the ace of diamonds, there it is right there. However, one ace of diamonds is really not going to win me any card games, that's why I've got all 4 aces. Obviously that's not how I present it in a real setting, but that is just a quick overview of what this looks like. You can obviously do this with any 4 of a kind, you can do it with 4 selections or something like that. And I'm just going to go over a really quick overview of the techniques that are used, so that if you're a magician you already know how this works, you can just quickly put it together. So the 4 aces start on top of the deck, and the bottom card can actually be crimped, okay? I use what's called a corner crimp, so you're going to put a little crimp in it like that. Use whatever method you like of placing the crimp above the stock. I'm then going to cut to the crimp, reveal an ace, complete the cut, leaving the other 3 on top. I'm going to do a Benzais Spin Out, producing the first ace, and then a slip cut to find the other 2 and turn over all the cards, and that's the ace. So that's the quick overview. Now I'm going to go into a little bit more depth into how to actually do this. So you're going to obviously need 4 of a kind for this. You can use any 4 of a kind. I like to use the aces. And if you want to have them in like a pretty arrangement at the end, I put them in this order of diamonds, spades, hearts, clubs. Okay, you can put them whatever order you like there. This goes on top of the pack. And on the bottom of the deck, I'm going to have a corner crimped card. How I'm going to do this in a performance situation is I'm going to get a break above the bottom card. So I like to use a buckle break like this. Okay, I won't teach that, but if you like, you can look that up. I'm sure there's a tutorial out there for that. And then once I've got a break above it, I'm going to transfer it to my pinky. So transfer it like that. I'm holding that card there. And then I'm going to, if I take my hand away, I'll show you what I'm doing with my thumb. I'm going to just push down in the corner like that until it's got this nice big bend in it. Now this bend is not permanent, and if you like you can just easily take it out by bending the card back. So I've got the corner crimp, and now I'm going to place the crimp above the stock. I can do this really easily just by giving the deck a cut, and now if I were to cut to this crimp, I'd be cutting straight to the first ace. Once this crimp is here, you'll notice that you can see it because there's a little opening in the deck, okay? And the opening is about, I don't know, about 1/5 of the way along the pack, depending on how big your corner crimp is. One thing to keep in mind about a corner crimp is you do not want to bend the card so that there's a crease in it, okay? That's how you like permanently damage the card. You want to just kind of give it a little rounded bend so that the card itself is not creased, and when you fold it back it should just look normal. Now, once you've got the crimp, you'll notice that depending on the size of the crimp, you will probably want to start out with quite a big one. You'll notice that it's quite easy to just cut to it if you bring a thumb in the same position as that opening, okay? So if I know the crimp is about halfway and I'm going to cut about half the deck, my thumb just naturally cuts to that crimp. So I can just cut forward with the crimp. That might take a little bit of practice, but just see how you go. And obviously this card is now an ace. So I display that card, and this part of the routine looks really fair, and it is, because I'm literally just cutting the deck. Freely, it's all squared up, I'm cutting the deck, and bam, there's an ace straight away. So now I'm going to complete the cut. This leaves the other 3 aces on top of the pack. And I'm going to go into probably the hardest part of this routine. It's still pretty easy. It's called the Benzais Spin Out. So this is what the move looks like that. Except that was probably pretty bad. Let's try something a little bit like that. And it looks like this card comes spinning out of the middle of the deck. In reality, it's just coming off the top. So how does this move work? Firstly, the finger positioning is quite important. You're going to bring your second finger and your thumb of your right hand over to the edge of the deck. So you're holding the deck like this. And you can mirror that on the other side, okay? However, with your right first finger, you're going to contact this top card, okay? You're going to press down at about a medium pressure, okay? And now, with your left thumb, you're going to try to catch a break about halfway into the deck, okay? So I'm going to lift up about half of the deck, and I'm going to make it so that both the thumbs are holding this break, so this thumb and this thumb. Now I'm going to slide the bottom half forward. However, because my first finger is contacting the top card, it's going to slide it forward with it, okay? Now comes the hard part. As I'm sliding this forward, I'm going to move this card and rotate it around my second finger with my first finger like this, okay? So I'm going to kind of kick that card out like that and then let go, alright? Now, it's impossible to do this in slow motion, but at fast speed, it looks like that, and the card actually spins off the second finger, okay? So I'm kicking it out like this, letting go, and letting that card continue to spin out of the deck. And because this is done at speed, not that kind of speed, this kind of speed, right? It actually looks like it's coming from the middle. And so to emphasize this, you can just lift the packets apart and bring them like this, so that it really looks like that card has somehow come out of the middle. And so you get this kind of really nice action like that. Now I'm going to go over that really quickly. Just again, you're going to lift up with your thumb, catch a break about halfway into the deck. You're going to cut forward the bottom half and slip the top card with it. You're going to push that card out with your first finger and then let go, okay? So at speed, when you let go, it'll come flying out of the deck. Then you lift up these halves like it's come from the middle and drop them back on top like that. And that is the Benzais Spin Out. And if you want to find out some history and crediting around that move, I've got some down in the description if you want to read some of that stuff. So once I've done the spin out move like that, okay, I'm going to leave that card where it lands on the table. And now I'm going to do basically the same thing. It's called a slip cut. So I'm going to bring forward the bottom half and the top card again, but instead of kicking that card out, I'm just going to let it slide flush with the top of the packet, okay? So at speed, it should actually just look like you're taking the top half and cutting it over here, okay? But in reality, you're taking the bottom half, but you're also taking the top card with it to make it look like you're taking the top half. So once you've done the slip cut like this, you're now left with an ace on each of these halves, and you're left with one here. So you're all done. You just turn over, I like to turn over this ace first, then this one, and then you can do the final reveal of the ace of spades. You're left with this nice reproduction of like a cross shape, but you can have it in whatever kind of pattern you like. So that is the entire sequence. It's really that simple. It might take a bit of practice if you don't know how to do the Benzais Spin Out. It'll probably take a little bit of practice to get that sorted, and it'll take a bit more than that even to get it to the point where you can measure the distance you want to do the move to, and it will land at that specific spot. So let me just quickly go over the move once again, just so you remember it. So I've got a corner crypt card on the bottom, 4 aces on top. I'm going to place the crimp above the aces with whatever method I want, like a cut. You screw up the deck, cut to the crimp, revealing an ace. Complete the cut, leaving the 3 aces on top. You're now going to do a Benzais Spin Out, leaving 1 ace there, a slip cut, and then reveal all 4 aces. So it's really quick, and if you get a nice rhythm and timing to it after a bit of practice, it looks really smooth, and as if you're pulling the aces from 4 completely different locations in the pack. So that is the move. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you practice it. I hope you perform it. Let me know if you do. I'd love to see those performance clips. You can tag me on Instagram and find that down in the description. But that's me for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to leave me some encouragement down in the comments, I'd appreciate that. But if not, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.